Okay, so you gotta stop fighting. You gotta stop fighting yourself and you gotta stop fighting others, especially any voices of the mind of the past. Realize that all of those figures of your imagination are just that, figures of the imagination. So drop them. Stop resuscitating them. Stop giving them life. Stop breathing life into those thoughts. The fight is all in you. And the second that you stop fighting yourself, you will diffuse the situation and calm your mind and become a little bit more kind of like the true aspiration of the Knight of Clouds, which is all about mastery of the mind. So master your mind. Take dominion and control over the patterns of your mind that maybe keep you stuck in a state of constant fighting. Once you realize that all of that fighting was actually just in you, it was just figures of your imagination, and you can actually stop the fight altogether, you're going to do so. So let's see what kind of energy is going to be in the crosshairs. And again, we have another card of the mastery of the mind. We have the King of Clouds. And this actually bodes well for you, my dear Capricorn, because the King of the mind is actually in perfect control over his thoughts, over his minds. He's created strong mental barriers that keep him protected from negativity, from lower vibrations of hate, of insecurity, and any past unconscious behaviors that may be stuck in the past. You've awakened to all of that, and now you're creating a stronger mental resistance against those thoughts. Because see how he has created a barrier against the clouds? He has his mind and the negative, toxic clouds of the mind under his control. And better yet, he has created a barrier from them. So it's looking well for you. It looks like you are taking better control over your mind and your imagination, and it's going to help you to drop the fight, gain control, and stand in your own inner truth, stand independently. The number 9 carries with it the vibrations of self-realization of endings and beginnings, which is exactly the vibrations of September. And the number 9 card of aloneness teaches us that there is a tremendous difference between loneliness and aloneness. Because when you are alone and you are standing alone in your own truth and you feel lonely, that means that you're missing something, you're lacking something. However, when you are alone and you feel aloneness, you feel oneness with you, with all of spirit, you are missing nothing. You are lacking nothing. In reverse, you are actually absolutely self-fulfilled. And all of that is because of the ageless wisdom that you are now starting to garner from those past life experiences, those past struggles, the sorrows, the fights. Those were actually lessons that now you are realizing, why am I constantly resuscitating the drama rather than just taking the lesson? Except now you're doing so, you're actually just taking the lesson. And you're converting a lot of that sorrow and those old fighting, low vibrational energies into ageless wisdom. So this is about mental alchemy, where your mind and your spirit are starting to join together to give you some sort of spiritual fortitude to support your mind. So let's see. Oh, wow. And the card of celebration. And the very beautiful thing about the Celtic cross is that it divides into 3 sections. Up here, we have the domain of the masculine father God energy. And here we have the in-between, our present moment, where we are, which is a marriage between the masculine and the feminine. So down here we have the domain of the feminine divine goddess, of your subconscious. This represents your subconscious, and this represents your superconscious. So in your subconscious, subliminal mind, it looks like you're starting to do a lot of healing there within your imagination, you're starting to believe in your own inner light. And now you're starting to create this harmony of celebration of your inner self, because the water is all about your imagination. And it looks like Father God is helping you to create some sort of reconciliation between the three levels of your mind, between the superconscious, intuitive mind, the rational, conscious mind, and the subconscious, creative mind. So now your mind is in a greater harmony. You're getting more in touch with your inner truth and the lessons of the past that you're turning into wisdom from all of those struggles. And wow, the number 6 card of success. Oh, you're gonna be feeling like you've tamed the tiger. You know, this is all about taming the tiger, and as it's a card of the fire element, the fire is all about your inner will and your inner power. So it looks like you're harnessing your inner will, your inner power, the tiger of life. You're taming the passion of your mind. Because realize that, you know, when we say taming the tiger of life, we actually just talk about the mind. So you're taming your mind, and you're going to experience an exalted state of success and triumph and celebration. You're healing yourself, essentially. You're healing a lot of scars that were imprinted in your mind from the past. And now you're giving up the struggle and letting tame and control over your mind. Wow, and here we have the card of guilt. And this card indicates that, you know, in order for you to move from the past, because in the Celtic cross, we have the past and the future. And the in between, the bridge between the past and the future, is this card right here, the 6th card. And this 6th card in the Celtic cross is the 8 of guilt. And this signifies that in order for you to bridge successfully where you are right now in your past into the ideal future in which you want to go, you're going to have to stop punishing yourself. Because all of the struggles of the past, the demons, the sorrows, all of that, when all of those things are natural to go through, but if you constantly relive them in a pattern that could potentially be unconscious, then that's just you kind of being a little bit masochistic and liking the punishment that comes from thinking badly about yourself. And that's guilt. Guilt is just a pattern of negative self-punishment. So stop reliving the past and really rise to the call of the king of the mind, who is encouraging you to take dominion and authority over your mind. And when you do so, you realize, oh my God, no one was ever forcing me to be punished. You have to drop the habit of self-punishment. And it's going to require a lot of effort, because if you don't, then a lot of the aspects of your surroundings and your foundations are going to start to crumble. And the number 9 card of laziness does indicate that there will be some sort of financial increase ultimately, but you're not going to be able to just sit back on your laurels. You're going to have to constantly tame the tiger of life, of the mind, and quit punishing yourself. Because if you don't quit this habit of punishing yourself, then you're going to stay stuck in the past. You're going to stay stuck in this kind of reflective mode, and then the very foundations around you are going to start crumbling. So be sure that, let's see, wow. So it looks like September is going to be a very difficult month, my dear Capricorn. It's going to be a very difficult month of you letting go of a lot of mental pain, of a lot of wounds and scars of the mind. And, you know, this card of sorrow, in the card we actually see Ananda, and his name means bliss. But he's not in a state of bliss at this moment because in the tarot, we see the moment that the Buddha died. And Ananda at that moment was so overcome with sorrow, and all of the other monks around him were judging him. They were judging his sorrow, which, you may feel like you have been judged for your sorrow. But Ananda said to them, I'm not crying for the Buddha because he achieved enlightenment. I am crying for myself because after years of contemplation, I have not reached enlightenment. And it's said that by the very next morning, after a full day of sorrow, he, he became enlightened. He reached the state of bliss. And so, again, this is a period of mental and spiritual alchemy, of connecting to your spirit and realizing that the reason that you may be going through a lot of emotional turmoil is for you to be less emotional, to let them come and go. As fast as all of the drama and all of the conflict and all of the inner fighting comes, let it go. Don't get attached to it, because if you do, then you're gonna stay in a masochistic state of self-punishment and of guilt. And also, in the Celtic crossbred, this is the eighth card, and the eighth card also deals with karma. So I'm flipping this over to indicate, that for you to truly rise to the authority of the king of the mind, you're gonna have to quit this habit of self-punishing yourself over the past sorrows. You have to let them go, and you have to begin using or applying this mental and spiritual alchemy to transform a lot of that sorrow and struggle and oppression and anything else, any other trauma, into higher wisdom. Because that's what the hermit represents. The hermit is standing alone in atop the mountain of higher attainment, and he stands there alone because his wisdom sets him apart from the rest. So this means that you have suffered a lot, my dear Capricorn. You have. And I want to validate that for you right now. It seems like you have carried so much burden, so much pain and sorrow, and it looks like you've even been made fun of it. But every cloud has a silver lining. Every cloud has a dark side and a bright side. So it's time for you to climb that cloud of sorrow of your mind. Find that silver lining towards the sun, towards the bliss, and transform all of that past suffering of your life into new wisdom. So this next card is going to show us what's going to be at the crosshairs. And wow, you have the card of sharing, the Queen of Abundance, the Queen of Fire, of Will. So this is the Mother God energy. This is the maternal archetype right here that is coming through to you right now. And she's letting you know that you are highly protected. That this is a period when Mother, Divine Mother, your mother, wherever she is providing so much love and so much appreciation for you. It looks like your mom is going to be a great source of good karma. Like your mom lived a certain way, that you're going to be able to enjoy the karma that comes from her through your spiritual inheritance. So you're going to be spiritually inheriting a lot of good energy that is going to protect you. It's going to make you feel so revived, and it's going to help you to climb that cloud of the mind, to find that silver lining and to find that light again. See the candlelight? That you're going to be going back to that inner candlelight of your true self, which is actually in your heart. Because doesn't she just effuse loving, heartfelt energy? She's sharing, she's abundant. She's not storing any love for herself, or she's also not storing love right now from someone to give to someone else. No, she gives unconditional love to everyone, and you're being showered with that kind of energy. And in order for you to do so, you're going to have to get in touch with your heart. I think that in September, the best way for you to go about this new journey Start listening and start thinking from your heart. Your heart only knows unconditional love. It knows no limits, it knows no bounds, it knows no barriers, because if the heart had any walls, then it would need a door, it would need a window. But the heart has no walls. There are no barriers that the heart knows. It only knows unconditional conditions of love. And when you start thinking from that space, you really start letting go of a lot of the toxicity of the mind, the wounds, the mental wounds, and the traumas that are all literally just figments of the imagination if you constantly revive them in these karmic patterns that could be unconscious, and now is the time to wake up to them. And thankfully, you are going to awaken to them and begin to transmute them from negativity to positivity, from the dark side of the cloud to the bright side of the cloud. You're going to find that silver lining in September. That's at least going to help you to climb upwards, finding that silver lining. And for you to find that silver lining, I think you're going to have to start thinking from your heart and feeling from your mind. Think from your heart of the unconditionality of your heart. And then once you start thinking from your heart, let your mind start feeling that new, brighter expansion. So this is about bridging your heart and your mind, of creating some coherence where the heart, where the heart is the authority. So it looks like, the other thing about the King of Minds is that he trusts his intuition. He trusts his intuition, which is razor sharp, to be able to cut through all the BS, through all the lies and the obscurity. He trusts in himself. He trusts in his heart. So this is the time for you to become like the King of Swords and start expressing dominion over your mind by following and trusting in your heart, just like the King of Mind. Because the King of Mind needs his heart to make decisions. So wow. What a beautiful card to finish the spread with. The number 14 card of integration. And we've been talking about alchemy. That beautiful spiritual alchemical blending of the mind and the heart, of mind and spirit, but more especially allowing the mind to be healed and to be transformed by the greater, unbounded, unconditional powers of the heart and spirit. And that's exactly what the card of integration represents. And by the end of September and the start of October, my dear Capricorn, you will be an awakened, enlightened Buddha in bliss. So there you have it, my dear Capricorn. If you like this video, then please be sure to let karma know by pressing that like button so you are showered with good luck and appreciation. And if you have a question that you are burning to have answered, be sure to drop it in the comments section, and yours may be selected for a future Ask Adonis reading. Also, be sure to subscribe, because I upload 3, sometimes even 4 videos every single month just for your sign alone. You will for sure have a monthly energy reading, a new moon, and full moon reading, so be sure to look out for those. And check out your lunar and rising readings as well. Until next time, my dear Capricorn, know that I truly appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much.